It's our top story on Minnesota Now. Texas National Guard troops are beginning their deployment in the Chicago area. And right now, a federal judge is hearing arguments over whether they should be allowed to stay. The state of Illinois and the city of Chicago sued to stop the use of National Guard troops. The Trump administration has said it needs them to protect federal agents who are carrying out immigration enforcement orders. A bipartisan group of former governors is asking to get involved in the case in support of Illinois and Chicago leaders. Among them are two former Minnesota governors, Democrat Mark Dayton and Arne Carlson, who served as a Republican but has since moved away from the party. Governor Arne Carlson joins me on the line now. Thanks for making some time for us this afternoon, Governor.
I'm delighted. Thank you.
You joined more than 24 governors in submitting a brief to the court yesterday. Why did you make the decision to join this motion?
Well, it was frankly a very, very easy decision. On trial here is whether or not we're going to have a constitutional democracy or a dictatorship. It's just simple. When you go back to the founding documents of the United States, the Declaration of Independence was a list of grievances of what the founders perceived to be the cruelty and autocratic power of King George III. And they talked about the inalienable rights of liberty, justice, and equality. The Constitution defined all of that, including the separation of powers and the very, very, very limited power given to the president. And now, as a matter of fact, I think you can argue, and I would argue, that the Constitution was designed to prevent a Donald Trump, not enhance one.
Do you think that an issue like this made you want to sign on to something like this? Because I know there are others who disagree. The issue's driving a deep wedge between current governors around the country. Several Democratic governors are threatening to leave. We're reading the bipartisan National Governors Association. How did this bipartisan group form of governors to come to this agreement that you are a part of?
Well, let's be very clear. Several decades, we've seen more loyalty to political parties than we have to our national interests, and that has to stop. We are Americans. My parents were immigrants from Sweden, and they came here to seek the advantages of the United States. They didn't come here as Democrats or Republicans. So this has nothing to do with party politics. It has everything to do with whether or not we want a democracy or a dictatorship.
We heard in our newscast just a few minutes ago, I don't know if you were listening, from Governor Tim Walz saying that if that were a similar situation were to happen here in Minnesota, that he would challenge it in court. All of these court challenges going on at the same time, Governor, I wonder what your thoughts are about how opinions are changing and moods are changing and tone is changing while all of those different cases are going through the court system, because it can take a really long time.
Well, they were to hope that there'll be an imposition ruling against the president trying to form what amounts to a national police force. This is what this is all about. Frankly, and let me just be very blunt, it has nothing to do with crime. And it has everything with the consolidation of power. Donald Trump wants all power consolidated in the presidency. He wants a national police force that can impose restrictions on the freedom of speech, freedom of movement, and freedom of dissent. That's what it's about. And I see no reason why we continue to skirt around the obvious. I think all of us have to put the well-being of the country well ahead of that of the party.
And there's also a separate conversation, but similar, going on about the possible use of the Insurrection Act. President Trump has said he may use that 1807 law to deploy the military in cities like Portland.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think of that possibility?
He continues to twist the meaning of all these acts. There was an insurrection attempt on January 6th. And there was violence, there was death, there was destruction. There was a cry from the crowd to basically lynch the Vice President of the United States. And the only thing Donald Trump said was, "We love you."
I know that, signing on to the brief is one form of action. I sense a lot of frustration in your voice. I wonder what else are you doing, or, other former governors to come to the forefront right now? Because it sounds like you really want to use all of the influence or power that you have.
I'm signing on to anything that allows us to protect our democratic powers. And I realize that a lot of people like to sit it out. But I spent a lot of time in college studying the rise and fall of the Nazi government. And every single action that has taken place so far comes, frankly, from the rise of the Nazi Party in Germany. And the one thing we cannot afford is to have people sit on the sidelines or other people kind of excuse things and say, well, maybe tomorrow something will get better. No, it won't get better. It will get worse. I am 91 years old. I'm not likely to be adversely affected. But my children are, my grandchildren are, my friends, my neighbors, the state of Minnesota, all of us will be adversely affected. And then we'll sit back and say, oh my heavens, how did this ever happen? Donald Trump wants a national police force to be his police force to get rid of his opposition, to punish his enemies, and to impose dictatorial law. It's as simple as that. It's not hard to understand. And the Constitution was designed to prevent that. That's why there was separation of powers and very limited power given to the executive branch. When you look at Madison's Federalist Paper 45, what does he talk about? He talks about the limits of power. Power delegated to the federal government should be few and well-defined. I challenge anybody to find any provision in the American Constitution that allows the President of the United States to create a national police force. The reality is this.
Go ahead.
Our democracy, our governments exist on cooperation. That's what we have. Telephones, we have ways to communicate with each other. If there's a genuine concern that things are going wrong in Chicago, you pick up the phone, you talk to the mayor, talk to the government, and you cooperate. You don't turn around and say, I think both of them belong in jail.
I do thank you for your perspective on this. While we do have you, though,
I wasn't too subtle.
No, right.